Mic check, mic check. How everybody feeling out there? Hold on. Let me just rock for a bit. I got this little flip DJ trick. Stay there. Can I slide up on there? There we go. Trying to do some shit, but all right. I already have the technical difficulties. But okay, welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. As y'all know, Eric Terrans once again. This is Dissect a Dialogue. As y'all may know, turn this down a bit. Go a little bit. But as y'all know, this is episode 58. Almost at 60. First off, I want to just say thank y'all for all the supporters. Thank y'all to my followers. Thank y'all people that's showing donations. If y'all want to support the channel, I can go to my IG. Link is in the bio. I say it's been something. If y'all up on TV shows, man. If y'all seen Succession, man. Did y'all know Shiv had it coming? If y'all watch that. But if not, for all my Succession fans, y'all did anybody expect Shiv to come did we really think she was gonna get away trying to backstab her siblings? But obviously they should have known that. They should have known when they was up to no good. So I don't even know why they're shocked. You know, it's like crazy. Like I always think of that world and just the working world in general, where you have to climb up different ladders or whatever. How people got to do low key shiesty shit. I think if I haven't told a story, I probably have. One time, I think one of my other jobs. I remember one dude who was a driver, and he was trying to be manager, whatever. And mind you, he never told anybody directions, none of that, blah blah blah. But then I noticed, and mind you, around the time I was a little older than everybody, mostly teenagers, so people were working over the phones and whatever. So I was a little older, but still kind of young. So I guess he thought, and it was mostly women. So I guess he thought. He could try to punk me, but he failed, and then he ended up running telling the manager, and it's damn, how low down you gotta be to try to rat on somebody. But that's just one of the few snakish things people do. But that's not the nitty gritty. Now I saw this article, right? I think it happened right in Maryland, I believe. Let me pull it up for y'all. See, 3 minutes. Here we go. I'm gonna read it for y'all. This is in PG County. It says 3 masked teens jumped. This was May 5th. 3 masked teens jumped on a school bus in Maryland on a Monday afternoon and targeted a 14-year-old boy, the last remaining student on the bus. It said one of the masked teens pointed a gun at the boy and pulled the trigger 3 times. Numbers. 3 times the gun into 5. Police later found 3 live rounds on a Prince George's County bus. Quote, this was an attempted murder, plain and simple, call it what it is. End quote, says Martin Diggs, head of the bus drivers union. Diggs described it as a ruthless attack. He also said, quote, they pulled the trigger 3 times, but for some reason, by the grace of God, the gun doesn't go off and bullets flew out the gun. Now, this isn't the first story I heard where it was just teenagers just going off trying to shoot somebody. But then there was also a story that happened in Chicago where a dude shot somebody, but then I think the news people reported it, and he went back to the same spot he just killed somebody at. And he popped, I think, a lady. I don't know if she was she pregnant. I'm not sure, but some to that capacity. You know how insane you have to be to go back to the same spot where you kill somebody and they just reporting about it. Like that's insane. And everybody's always saying like, everybody always wants to talk about how the youth is so, reckless and like they have no moral fiber. Of course they want to add the religion to the thing, but y'all know how I feel about that. I don't think that that equates to good character. You can be the religious person in the world and still have the sensibility of the length of a penny. Uh, you know, say you can know every book, scripture in the Bible, but still have the need to do snake shit. So I don't really equate religion with good moral fiber, good character. That's for the birds. But anyway, um, yeah, and I noticed that there's a lot of that going on. People always want to, it's like the never ending loop of the fight of generation, especially in our community, where it's like, and this is when I bring up the Willie Lynch there. In the Willie Lynch letters, he mentioned uh, old, pretty much the older generation will be fighting with the young generation, and this is what's going on right now. And I also noticed that, you know, they always want to blame the generation for whatever reason, but it's not like they're not legal age, or they're not eligible enough to get certain guns, or so like someone has to basically with guns and drugs, someone has to be given this. And it's very rare that it's someone their age, if y'all catch my drift. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be strangers that they may see on the street giving all this stuff. Sometimes it could be right in their house. They have to deal with that. They have to see all the drugs, guns, violence. Sometimes it could be in the house. So I don't want to just straight blame the young generation for being violent and blame it on one thing, because I'm not that type of. I'm not gonna, because technically, I mean, the Gen Z, technically, I'm born '97. Y'all do the math, so I'm technically a part of that generation, but I'm not of that generation. That makes sense. Like some of the people of the generation, I can't even relate to, because like it's almost like it's almost like they're a whole nother species. Like I don't listen to them. I think there was one video where it was a girl that was like Gen Z, but she was like a little kid, and it was a guy born in '97, which is technically the start of Gen Z. And they're showing like, this is random, but I'm just making a point. How you talk on the phone? She was like this, but if y'all my age, how do you talk on the phone? We do this, right? So the point I'm trying to make is, oh, I lost my train of thought. The point I'm trying to make is that sometimes they didn't just come up with these thoughts in their head. I highly doubt that they decided to just go off and start, being bloodthirsty, looking for people to shoot and kill up. I doubt that they just. It's not just the kid. We can't just always blame the kids. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Basically, you pick up on certain things from your environment, what your upbringing is. But the main question for tonight is evil acts hereditary? Is evil acts hereditary? Now, when I say evil acts, it's a difference between having evil intentions, or I won't even say just evil intention, but I'll say it for the sake of this question. I won't say evil intentions. I'll say, yeah, I won't say intentions, but like evil acts. Because we all have had dark moments. We've all had moments where we kind of wanted to see what it was like to tap into that other side of the coin. We always put on this mask and could flip off like that, where it could just change, whatever circumstance it is. Everybody's guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. I'm pretty sure everybody's guilty of, you know, having, like I said, thoughts, intentions of doing something but not acting upon it. There's a difference between having evil intentions and evil acts. But let's define what evil is. Now it says evil is, and it's an adjective and noun. The adjective is profoundly immoral and wicked, but the noun is profound immorality and wickedness, especially when regarded as a supernatural force. Now, evil can come in many forms. People try to make evil acts just like they say immoral, but then there's also some evil acts that they know is bad, but as long as it's for a certain reason why they're doing it, it's okay. I'll use the Bible for example. There's numerous. Well, they mention that as far as the sins, thou shalt not kill, blah blah blah, that bullshit rhetoric. But then all throughout the Bible, there's like numerous endings of killings and murderings all through there. David beheading Goliath, the God in the Old Testament, with the plague and all that. God tricking Abraham to threatening to kill his son. What else? Duh. Jesus crucifixion, duh. The biggest murder of all. But it's for a purpose. See, and this is what I learned, right? Murder is always accepted as long as it's for a purpose. That's why most people can watch violent movies and listen to violent lyrics, but let it be another sin or another act, then it's almost like, oh, I'm appalled. Oh, this is sickening. Oh, wow. Like, even like with the whole, like, I never understood how it's almost like this double talk that goes on, especially in our community, because we always like to act so religious, but then, like I said, at the job I have, want to flip our, principles when it's best suit us, right? Like, we're okay with, no, I'll change it up. We're not okay with homosexuality in our community. We're not okay with lying. We're not okay with disobeying elders, even though it's not really disobeying or disrespecting, it's setting boundaries. We're not okay with things like that. That anything that deals with, the spirit, they love putting that out, sparing the rest of the child. But they never talk about the other stuff in there that says that a father shouldn't provoke their children to anger. Yeah, that's in there. I forget, it's like Ephesians something, whatever it is. But yeah, that says that in there. And I remember telling my dad that, and he just kind of dismissed it. And I think that right there kind of like made me like, it was kind of like my descent towards my religion. Like it almost wasn't like for a good purpose anymore. It wasn't, it didn't I felt like I was forced to partake in it. And that's one thing as human beings we don't want to do, be forced into doing something just because was how the older generation was taught. But I'm like, okay. But that further proves my point. Okay, the older generation teaches you how to do something this way. Granted, doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it fair. Is it fair because I can make a lot of different excuses. I'm exaggerating, but my dad, got a switch on me if I had the lights on for a certain amount of time. So I'm doing it to you, Jason, whatever. That doesn't make it right though. Or this is this is from separating fantasy from reality. This really happened. And I'm pretty sure it happened with a lot of people where I had a parent say that he was going to threaten to murder me and actually use like adjectives explaining, I'll kill you, do this, blah, 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 in that way. When you're saying now, you say it older, you remind your parent what they said to you when you were a kid, then this is how they do it. They'll flip it on you and make it seem like what you're thinking is nonsense. And with, oh, well, because my parent said it to me when I was a certain age, it's okay. They'll do that to you. They'll make evil intentions okay, or trying to do evil acts okay. That's when kind of evil is kind of, they make it normal per se. They kind of make it like kind of normal. Now that then it kind of goes into this sort of banal evil. Now let's break down what banal is. So it says banal is so lacking in originality as to being oblivious and boring. So it's kind of just, oh, sorry, obvious. I said oblivious. Obvious and boring. So banal evil is basically just something that a regular person would think is just like, wow, this is crazy. Why would they say this? Why would they do that? But then to other people, it's like, it's normal. Like, for example, murdering someone is a crime, right? But it's okay to kill a deer while you're in its habitat or you're in its environment. Or, killing a bear, killing a deer, killing a fly. Nobody feels a sort of guilty conscience when they do that. But I'll say some, because some people could be okay with murdering him, but I'm saying most people would probably dismiss killing some animals as just like a normal thing, whereas a person, or I even make a better example. When Bin Laden was supposedly killed, right? You remember how everybody was just so excited and happy and just pretty much okay with someone being massacred, basically, and then people admitting it, and we're just so ecstatic. But if a gorilla gets shot down, then it's like mass news. So murder, like I said, the bane, like, oh, he's a mass murderer, so it's okay if he suffers. But our whole history of leaders is mass murders. The people that we put in office and put in these higher positions are mass murderers. So because they pray a certain more times a day than we do, all of a sudden they're a threat. They believe in a different God than we do, but not me, but yeah. Not now all of a sudden it's different. You want to, put a certain boundary to it, like, oh, it's not really the same. That's what I mean by that banal evil, like something you wouldn't. It's not much to do. It's whatever. It's whatever. But then what? It's different now because it's on the other side. But that's what happens a lot, especially in the states. We tend to pick and choose what's right and wrong when it comes to evil acts. Like evil acts is, again, it comes with religion. There's numerous times of like evil acts. It's like, and when I was forced to take Bible studies, and I would like hear these stories, and I would just be like, yeah, this God in the Old Testament was a dick. Like he just hated everybody. Like, okay, maybe your reasons were justified, I guess. I mean, maybe the Sodom and Gomorrah might have been justified. Okay. But you're kind of going against your own rules, no? I mean, you're such a loving God. Why couldn't you just come down there and explain everything? Oh, but wait, it's too much for you to deal with. Okay. So I guess you're not as supreme as you say you are. Right. So murder is like the last option when you can't. you know, be able to talk to somebody. But that's what most religion teaches, right? They teach us to be peaceful and meek, but deep down inside, you're, you know, black hearted, willing to, do a whole bunch of evil stuff to get where you're at. But and then going back to, the stuff that happened in Maryland and all that, you got all these adults blaming these kids, well, the teenagers that was doing that, you know, always on this bloodthirsty mission, kind of like how they don't really want to. It's almost like they don't know how to live life, never had to live life, but they're so quick to take one, right? But then I have to think, what about the generation before them, the parents' generation, right? Gen X, most of them probably was probably their age, the kids back in the '90s, where gangster rap was running rampant. A lot of gang violence, especially with the crack era, late '80s, early '90s. Um, I mean, I can keep going with this, but what about that generation? Whatever happened with them? Oh, it's different because uh, what drugs were just thrown in your neighborhood and all this. So it's a little different. Okay, okay, I get it. War on drugs. Okay, so it forced y'all to be sucked up into the. You became a product of your environment. You have to learn how to survive. Okay, sure. You want to go there? Okay. What about the '80s? Again, more gang violence, more drugs, more poverty, more evil acts. Oh, same thing. Same thing going on. Same thing. Uh, Disease, spreading drugs. Okay. '70s. You see where I'm going with this? It's a repeated pattern. There's not like that's what I mean. Like, who's teaching the youth these things? Because the kids aren't just learning them from. They have to learn from the grown-ups, right? Most of the time, like if you didn't have a father figure, you talk to the OG or someone that's like a little bit older than you, right? And they would show you different stuff, whether right or wrong. But what that's different. They just have to grow up that way, right? Whereas someone that's actually doing the right things in life, in our community, we call those squares for some odd reason. And then they're the ones that end up getting ridiculed, frowned upon, and in the worst case scenario, probably even robbed or killed because they actually, and like I said, you can't choose your destiny in this lifetime, but maybe they grew up a certain way different from you. Doesn't give you the right to try to take what they got just because you didn't. I mean, we all have. I mean, we all have a challenge in our life where we get put in like you. I mean, you may see what this person have on as far as material wise. Maybe when he gets home, his home life is jacked up. You may have the good home life, but you just grow up in a bad environment. It's just like I said, it's just based on perspective. Like, the grass ain't always green on the other side. But it doesn't give nobody the right to try to take anybody's life at all. All you're doing is just becoming another statistic, another funeral, another T-shirt that's gonna be turned into a rag in like 3 weeks. Like, what do you have to gain by taking a person that looks like this life away? Because he has the Jordans that you couldn't afford, because he doesn't engage in the same activities you engage in, or maybe he doesn't want to focus nonsense trying to live like rappers that are not even living the lives that they're saying in their music. I mean, can't force people how to live a certain way. And again, this goes back to us trying to portray a lifestyle that isn't even our lifestyle. Like for those that don't know, like I'm in Houston right now. If I tell you like how annoyed I am by these self-proclaimed suburban hood dudes, you probably get annoyed. You probably get annoyed by how some of them act. It's like, say there's a line, right? And then they're right here. You know, good family, you know, they grew up right, you know, learn right from wrong, you know, never saw violent stuff. They didn't grow up that way, whatever, whatever. Don't even have really a thick accent, whatever. I hate to say hood accent. What is a hood accent? But it don't have like, you know, they don't speak heavy ebonics, right? That's that line, right? Oh no, I saw someone get shot in the leg. Oh no, someone sold like an ounce of fake synthetic weed there. Oh no, uh, somebody got carjacked. What, you John Morant now? Because you got a gun in your hand? That's what I mean. Like a lot of these individuals, like, and I look at them like, and you make fun of guys like me and people that act like me. Why? Because we actually are who we say we are. We don't try to make a portrayal of something we seen on TV or something we listen to. And that's another thing too. Like again, with the stuff we put in our body, like the music, drugs, is that also responsible for evil acts? Now, now as far as movies, like I like watching crime movies, right? Some hip hop music may have elements of, you know, gangster life, drug life, but I'm able to know how to separate from fact and fiction. These younger kids, I don't know. They actually, and but then again, I can't blame them because you still got people that grew up in the '90s listening to Pac and Biggie, thinking they was really doing the stuff they were saying. But I guarantee, like Pac's background, if someone had Pac's background in today's day and age, they'll be called gay or fruity or all these negative connotations to, you know, uh, make fun of men and kind of tarnish their masculinity. Like, there's nothing wrong with a man, like, you know, wearing a certain color shirt, or maybe he gets manicures, or maybe he wears a hair wash on the way. Why is that? But that's gay, but sagging isn't. Saying you're gonna do stuff for some dudes you don't know, but you're not gonna have the same energy when it comes to your mom and your girl, or your kids if you have any. Like, that's not odd at all. Like, am I the only person that thinks this? Because I don't know, but I'll say this. In life, we all gotta walk through that tightrope, you know, that yin and yang, learning how to balance good and evil every day. So I can't blame this younger generation for that. I mean, like I said, our parents was, I would say our parent, like the parents of like Gen X generation or Gen X parents, they were pretty much responsible for all the explicit stuff that's in music. I mean, most of the rappers back then were their age. So I mean, who's really to blame? But the people that's raising these kids, you know? And that's what's going on in our community is it's a cycle of kids raising kids. And I'm not talking age. I'm talking up here. I know a bunch of 40, 50-year olds that's still 17, 18 in the head. They even talk like they're still in high school. They gossip like they're still in high school. So I don't want to hear nothing about the young generation. Oh, they're lost. They don't have God in their life, and they're caught up listening to. I don't want to hear that nonsense. Why don't you teach these kids something about other than what they see and hear? I mean, again, when kids even like learn like profane language, like most of the shit I heard as far as bad language, I've heard first from my parents. I didn't hear just randomly walking on the street and hearing people cuss. I heard that from my parents or those that I was around, or the movies and music that they were letting me listen to at a young age. So I think it's up to. I think you have to teach the younger generation, and I hate saying because I'm technically that, but you have to teach them more stuff other than that. Stop wondering, oh, they're so lost. No, you're not teaching them the right way. You're not teaching them the right stuff. It has nothing to do with them not knowing the right thing. You push out evil thoughts, evil actions. That's what you're gonna get. You know, if you have kids with a total stranger and it's based on, you know, jealousy, envy, whatever, that's what's gonna come out. But that's all I gotta drop that. But let me know what y'all think about that. But again, just something I had to get on my chest. But thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, if you're new, I'm on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, not our Amazon, I'm about to be on iHeart. If you're not new, continue to share, like, follow me, donate, wherever. But that's all I got for today. This is me signing off. See y'all next week. Peace.